James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Welcome to a more civilized podcast. This is the podcast you're looking for. You may not go about your business. Stay here, listen, and then move along.
Welcome, listeners. I'm Kyler.
I'm Chris.
I'm Ross.
Yep. Have you listeners ever heard of the tale of Darth Moose the Avaricious?
I haven't even heard of this.
Nope.
Oh, yeah. Well,
This is an all Kyler Nerf.
let me tell you
Yeah.
the tale.
I feel like this is going to be along the lines of, like, Jar Jar was a Sith.
No.
Already.
That is my probably most hated fan theory. Right up there
Save
with
that
Rey
for
as
the
a
fan
Kenobi
base.
or Skywalker. No. Darth Moose, by the way, M-U-S, as you see in the title, is Latin for mouse.
Oh.
So,
Very different from what I was hearing.
yep. I'm just pronouncing Latin correctly. Unlike we see so often in Hollywood. So, December 20th, 2018. A YouTube channel, Star Wars Theory, made a really, really good fan film called Vader Episode 1, Shards of the Past, and released it to their channel on December 21st.
I do remember seeing articles about that, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people linking
very
to it.
quickly, it exploded. It was very well done. Got 7 million views. I watched it. It's pretty good quality for a fan film. I mean, you can still tell it's a fan film, but the CG is really pretty good. In some of the scenes, it's movie quality. The makeup is pretty good. I mean, there's a couple times, but again, it's a fan film, so you know. But the dialogue was really generally pretty good. There were only like 2 places where I'm like, you needed to tighten that up just a hair there, maybe change a word. But overall, an incredibly well done fan film, which is why it very quickly got 7 million views, right? Star Wars Theory had spoken to Lucasfilm prior to filming. They received permission to film, and along with that permission, they received a list of rules that they needed to follow in order to not step on copyright law. So they followed those rules to the letter, including not monetizing their video, no crowdsourcing to fund the video.
So that's really a labor of love.
Yes. Yeah. So they put their own money into it. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars put into this. About probably 50,000 into it, if my math estimation is right. So the creators put their own money into this. They have no way to be reimbursed for it because of the copyright laws, but they decide to do it anyway. They agree to all these rules. They decide to do it anyway because they're like, we want to make this for the fans. Mm-hmm. We are fans. We have what we think is a cool story to tell. We would like to tell it, so we agree to these rules.
Right.
So that is December 20th. It goes up 21st, 20th, 21st.
Of 2018.
2018.
Okay.
January 14th, 2019.
Yep.
So about 3 weeks later, Disney files a claim against the fan film, claiming and they claim the entire video for themselves and begin monetizing it on their channels.
Oh.
Star Wars Theory puts up a video on their YouTube channel and Twitter explaining what had happened, that they'd been slapped by Disney with essentially a cease and desist, and we're going to take this.
Nobody is more zealous about copyright than Disney.
Yeah.
And they took the money, the video, and started monetizing it for themselves. They estimated that in the 2 weeks that the video had been up, they, meaning Star Wars Theory, who produced the video, estimated that if they had been allowed to monetize it, it would have made about $80,000 for them, American, which he said would have covered the cost of that and started work on the second episode.
And is that just on covering the period that Disney monetized, or is that the whole run?
No, that's the whole, from the time it had been on. He's like, if we had been able to monetize, because apparently Disney doesn't want fans making money off it, yet now Disney is making money off a fan-made thing, and not giving us any of it. And we estimate, just based on the views and whatever, he does the math, figures, we would have made, give or take a little bit, $80,000 in these 2 weeks. And he said, but they could have made $80,000 American. He's Canadian, so he said it would have been around 120,000 Canadian, which he said would have covered the first episode and half of the next episode. So that's why I said about $50,000 probably is what it cost him to make it, based on his own estimation. But he had not, in accordance with the rules given him by Lucasfilm. That's January 14th. They also said that they wouldn't be fighting it.
Wow.
They wouldn't be challenging Disney
it's hard to fight
because
Disney.
they would lose against Disney, and then they'd lose their entire channel because you only get 3 strikes for copyright infringement before your entire channel is taken away from you and shut down.
Yeah.
So he said, rather than get one strike here because I'm currently clean, and then if I try to fight Disney, then they maybe will punish me more in the future or whatever. He's like, so it's just not worth it. So I'm sorry, everybody, but it's a lost cause.
Yeah.
So, quote, after filing the claim, the company publisher for the Walt Disney Music Company began to collect ad revenue for Two's video. Two is the name of the YouTuber who made this.
Okay.
For Two's video by claiming that one of the songs used a rendition of the Imperial March, end quote. And then you can read about that in Newsweek.com, Star Wars Theory, Disney, blah, blah, blah. So that's why. Disney said, oh, you're using our music, which is unfortunate because he said I had hired an independent composer to come in, and yes, the music is obviously inspired by John Williams, but it is original music.
Yeah.
So your copyright claim is kind of dumb, but I can't fight it because you're Disney.
Well, because you're Disney, and because when it comes to music, that can be very murky waters to wade into.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of, if Disney fights that, it's going to cost him a ton of money, and he can't be 100% certain.
And I know what
the
part of the music he was
talking
talking about, and I'm going, yeah, I can tell that that's the Imperial March, but I can also tell that it's pretty substantially different.
Yeah.
So, January 15th, the next day. The internet response was pretty predictable. Boycotts of Episode 9 were called. Reddit
because all the same people were
outraged. Yeah, well, but Reddit was outraged. Well, but people were specifically saying, like, rather than just saying we don't like this, but if Disney is going to screw its fans over, fans who were following their rules to the letter, and then they're going to totally screw them like this, well, screw you then, Disney. Which I think is probably the most fair call for an Episode 9
legit
boycott. Reddit was outraged. People were all kinds of...
Reddit was outraged.
Yeah.
Most redundant.
I know. Sorry, let me clarify. Reddit was. But January 16th, 2 days later, Lucasfilm saves... this is a headline from an article from a MovieWeb. And there were lots of similar titled articles.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm saves Darth Vader fan film from Disney copyright claim. So I'm just quoting now directly from the article. Lucasfilm saves Darth Vader fan film from Disney copyright claim. This is movieweb.com, Star Wars boycott Lucasfilm. You can look it up and read it yourself. Vader Episode 1, Shards of the Past, has been saved by Lucasfilm. Outrage amongst hardcore Star Wars fans started to spread earlier this week when it was revealed that Warner/Chappell Publishing, who handles Walt Disney's Music's publishing, put a copyright claim on the excellent Darth Vader fan film after the creator had reached out to Lucasfilm and asked for permission. Fans were so hurt by the decision and the way that it was handled that they planned a Star Wars 9 boycott. Thankfully, a representative from Lucasfilm spoke to someone at either Warner, Chappell, or Disney and had the copyright strike lifted from Vader Episode 1, Shards of the Past. When the copyright infringement was issued, Disney monetized the video, which Lucasfilm told Two's was not allowed. The studio reportedly was reportedly able to earn $80,000 from monetizing the fan-made movie on their own. However, the ads have also been taken from the video, meaning that nobody is profiting from the project, which is the way it was supposed to be in the first place. End quote. In a new video on the Star Wars Theory, just my own whatever. In a new video on the Star Wars Theory channel, Two's told his fans that the claim on his video had been lifted in part because of the intervention of Lucasfilm. He says, quote, they stepped up and told Disney or the other company that this wasn't okay and that this wasn't going to stand. End quote. He says that in the video, which is...
That's pretty brave.
Yeah, no kidding, which is awesome.
Step up to the bosses and say, hey, no.
Which is super
Stop
great.
One of the things you're most well known for in the world.
Lucasfilm is willing to do that and say, this is wrong to treat your fans this way. Disney, back off.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I'm willing to bet some lawyers got involved as well. Because for Disney to appropriate someone else's work and start selling it on their own, that's a big no-no under copyright law.
Oh yeah, that's really murky waters.
Probably Lucasfilm walked in with the lawyer and both were like, no, for real.
Back off.
We cannot do this.
Yeah. This is wrong on all the levels. So
well, either way, the story was a happy ending.
Yeah.
It's back up on Two's channel, Star Wars Theory.
Happy. I'll be happy if Disney steps up and goes, you know what, that money should have been yours.
They haven't given him the money.
Yeah.
But which is why this is the tale of Darth Moose the Avaricious. But anyway, I'd been asked a little bit about had I seen this fan video. We should talk about it or whatever. Stephen was particularly adamant that I talk about it. So this is where it comes. I'm glad I waited so that we have sort of an end for this story, at least anyway. Or at least this first episode in a possible trilogy. But he is planning on making a trilogy of fan films, so this was just episode 1.
So he's still going to... Wow, that's brave.
He's going ahead with
still
episode
forge
2.
Forward.
Well, but I think now he's got more confidence, more to be like, they can't do this again as long as I follow the rules.
They can't.
Or they'll just be more sneaky.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there it is. I do highly recommend going and watching it. It's a very well-made fan film. It's probably the best fan film I've seen for Star Wars. It's very good.
I just wanted to add my 2 cents that if you are particularly still unhappy with Disney over that, which is like I look at that and I'm like, I hope no one lost their job over that. Like Disney's copyright department is notoriously trigger happy.
Yeah.
And like they do that all the time. They will slap you with a cease and desist faster than anyone. And
it's amazing we haven't been hit yet.
Right? We're just adequate enough. Anyway.
Or maybe we're just the right amount of adequate.
That's right. We're so inoffensive, guys.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll do that really fast. But that's the thing is, someone out there is like, that was just their job. They've been told you to be really strict about this. They hit that. They went, okay, well, this is, I can hear that. That's clearly something we can use here. They shouldn't be profiting off of Star Wars, or maybe they're not. Maybe they are. They don't know. But they're just looking at that and going,
flag it just to be sure.
Yeah, flag it to be sure. This is something we should be stepping on. And then it became a kerfuffle because they didn't pay enough attention, because probably they're not encouraged to. Who knows? But I hope no one lost their job over that, at least at that level.
Yeah.
But unless you had.
Well, I was just so I've done a little bit of YouTube hosting and things, and I'm trying to remember all the ways, because there are ways that you can see if something is being monetized or not. I don't remember how all those are and how public some of those are.
Yeah.
But I believe Disney would have known if it's being monetized when they made the claim. When that returns no, and then they start to monetize it on their own, is really fishy.
And that's the thing is he wasn't monetizing it, because that was one of the top items on his do not do list is don't monetize this or else Disney will come after you and eat you alive. So he said, "Okay, we're not going to do this." And then Disney comes in and then monetizes it on their own. It's like, that is super
sketchy.
low.
Yeah, that's
well, I mean,
sleazy.
it comes down to theft. I mean, it's really what it is.
And I hope that they do give him the money, because it's not like Disney's hurting for pocket change.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And $80,000 to Disney is literally like pocket change.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they should give it to
These are
him
the people who shelled out over $70 billion to acquire Fox's assets.
Yeah.
Like,
$80,000 is like, that's you're buying gum in the grocery store.
Yeah,
money.
they're using that to wipe their butts on the toilet.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
On.
So there it is. Hopefully Disney backs off. And
I would like to add that if you feel particularly unhappy with Disney and you want a way to kind of rub it in their faces, just wait for January 1st, 2024, which is the day when the copyright for Steamboat Willie expires, along with Disney's copyright on Mickey Mouse. Which means Mickey Mouse will be in public domain January 1st, 2024. And you can do whatever you want with Mickey Mouse, assuming Disney doesn't just
rewrite
wholesale buy out the government and just rewrite the copyright law, which I would not put past. But in the meantime, that's the day to look forward to if you want to tweak Disney's nose legally.
Yeah.
Unless they extend it.
They will. They'll get copyright law.
Well, but that's the thing. Yeah, they'll have to change the law to do that.
Right.
Like at the moment, there is no way to do that.
If I remember right, no, they've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that was like the DMCA or DCMA, whatever it is, the Digital Copyright Millennium Act or something like that.
Right.
That was Disney going, this is going to affect our copyrights if we don't enact a law.
I shouldn't say they didn't change the old law. They made a new one that extended the times on all of those.
Yes. So that's what'll happen again is they'll pay a bunch of senators a bunch of money and get their copyrights extended.
Probably, but in the meantime,
there it is.
You can hope for a better day.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, before that, go ahead and follow us on Twitter at More Civilized and join our Facebook group, More Civilized Podcast.
You can speak with me on Twitter at Mr_R*.
And let us know on Facebook or Twitter what you'd like to hear us talk about. If there's anywhere you'd like to find the podcast that you can't, hit us up, tell us, and we'll see what we can do about it.
Yep. We're always happy to.
Yeah.
All right. May the Force be with you.
Always.
I'm Anna Graves, and thank you for listening to a More Civilized Podcast.
Vader Episode 1, Shards of the Past.
That's the Johnny Knoxville version.
Yeah. Cut that out, put it at the end. I'm starting over.